welcome back. Right, parts board's turned up. Here we go. Same model, a 407 revision C. So you can see it's fully populated, apart from the SID and Vic chip. So what I'm going to do, because it's a parts board, I'm going to nick parts from it. Now, where's my sexy goggles? So what I'm going to do before I start nicking parts for this is where SID goes. The SID chip. New SID chip. So this is the Nano SID. Oh god. Clock Tower 3 on the PS2. Yeah. Scary-ish game. Not really scary, but it's supposed to be. Yeah, so new SID chip. Now the Vic chip, there's two versions. On eBay it's a 6569, and on eBay they're 40 quid. Yeah, just for one chip. The 6569 chip takes 12 volts, while the 8565 takes 5 volts. Every pin out on here is the exact same between the two chips. So pin 13, if we change that on our board, we take out this bead here, and that'll disconnect the 12 volt, and then we wire the pin 13 to pin 40, which pin 40 is VCC, which is 5 volt, and that will give us our 5 volt on here. So technically if I put in the 8565, it'll work. And I know it works because I've seen it. I've seen it work. So that's what we're going to do with this before I take any parts off of it, because this is a working board apparently. So we're going to put that in, not today obviously, we're going to put that into here, the SID chip, and then when the other chip turns up, the 8565, I'm going to wire this. So I'm going to take that bead out, wire pin 13 to the VCC, and see if it works. If it does work, then we're going to transfer that onto this board. That outer bead there, see the marking there? I think it's, where's my specs? That one there, FB12. If we don't put that in, that doesn't give 12 volt to pin 13. And then on the other side, on pin 13 here, I'm just going to put a little black wire trace, run from pin 13 to pin 40, the VCC, which gives us 5 volts on pin 13. And then the Vic chip should work. Now, if you wonder why I'm doing that, because like I said, the 6569 chip is 40 quid on eBay, and there's only one at the moment in this country. There's loads abroad. The one in this country is ceramic, unfortunately. It's an R1. But the ones abroad, there are R2s and R3s. They're not ceramic, but they're abroad, and they're 35, 40 quid. And then the postage is between 10 and 15 quid to bring it over here into this country. So yeah, if I buy the 8565, not if I buy, I have bought this 85, excuse me, the 8565, because it's 5 volts, it's lower temperature running. The 69 is on high temperature because it's 12 volt. With the 65, it's on a low temperature because it's only 5 volt. So it'll run a lot cooler on here. No need for a heatsink. That's the theory anyway. If you make sense of that, well done. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So what I am going to do now, that should be turning up today. So what I'm going to go and do is have something to eat, make a coffee, and hopefully by the time I've done all that, the postman would have been, and I'll have my chip. I hope. I was doing this and I forgot I was supposed to be recording. So what I've done, right, so what we're going to do, because it's a long board, this takes the 6569, but like I said, because they're 40 quid, there it is, I bought an 8565, which is for the short board. You know, they're only like 15, 20 quid. And a ferret bead, there isn't. I've just took it out. So now what we're going to do, just a normal bit of wire, nothing fancy. I'm only experimenting at the minute, just checking on this board to make sure it works. So I'm going to connect pin 40, which is a VCC 5 volt, to pin 13, because at the moment pin 13's got no voltage in it. Now I've taken that bead out to stop carrying the 12 volt to it. So I'm going to solder this to pin 40 and pin 13, which it will take the VCC 5 volt from pin 40 to pin 13, which should make the 8565 work. It's not a permanent thing. I'm going to take this off once I've done it and tested it. There we go. Drop that. Come on out. Right, so pin 40. To pin 13. Without touching anything else, hopefully. Like that. Move that out of my way. And you see I've got the Nano Super Sid in there. And then we're going to get the... Before we do anything, I need to check the voltage. Right, so we've got the meter. We'll put it on 5 volt. We'll put it on volts. Right, so find the ground, pin 13, turn it on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, pin 13. There you go. 4.9, which it should be now, which would be the same as pin 40. Oh, pin 40, wrong end. There you go. See, 4.9. So we're now on valve 5 volts. Make sure all the legs are in. Push it down. Right. Let's move you around. Right, plug power in. There he says. There you go. Right. Hopefully nothing goes bang. Oh, nothing went bang. Nothing came on. Scat. That's right. I'm in video, aren't I? Yeah, you're not going to believe this. So, the RF box. Yeah, I started desoldering it. One of the lights just fell off. Yeah, I started desoldering this yesterday. I thought I'll take it off and then I'll clean it up, and then I thought, well, I don't need to because I'm not adding it to the other board. So I left it as it was where it desoldered. So when I've been trying to get a signal through the video, not through the RF, there's no picture. But as far as I've been testing, everything's fine. Scratching my head for the past hour. It's been an hour since you last saw me. And then I flipped the board over. I saw that I'd still left the RF unsoldered. Now, I've had a Commodore 64. Say that again. I've had a Commodore 64 before. I've took the RF module off, and it still works through the S-video. Yep, through the video. But this one don't. And I'm pretty sure they do work through video without the RF. In fact, I'm almost certain they do. That's through a spanner in the works. That anyway. So now, power it on. Bing! Did you hear the bing? I don't know if you heard the bing. Turn the volume up and I'll shut my mouth. Right. So we'll turn it off. Right. You ready? Do you hear that bing? Yeah. Well, that bing is that Nano Sid saying everything's fine, let's go. So yeah, so works. Yeah, not a great signal. So I'm baffled by that one. Sorry, I'm baffled by that RF box, because technically you should be able to disconnect that RF box and it should still work. Yeah, so now I'm buggered because I don't want an RF box on that board If that doesn't work without that RF board, I've screwed my plans up. Now that little experiment's worked, I can transfer that experiment onto, well, I don't need to transfer onto it, I just need to leave the ferrite bead off. Yeah, and solder a really thin trace wire under the board from pin 40 to pin 13. So, and then that's good to go. As you can guess, it's late. I've had this for hours. So I just took off the transistors. It's these. That's a transistor. Yeah. Now, 2 of them on the board, they just sat there on the board, not attached to anything. The third one is a heat plate. Obviously, where they get so hot, this pulls the heat away from it. And when they're on there, it screws onto the plate. See those little screw hole there? Just missed there. Once you take that screw off and the nut off the back of the board, underneath there's a thermal paste. Yeah, it's all white gooey stuff. Use on fingertips. That's thermal paste. So what you could remember is when you put it back on, or when you put them back on, clear all that thermal paste off and put a fresh coat on there before you attach it back to the board. Because that thermal paste, it's been on there since 1983, so yeah, it's no good. Don't mind you saying that's no good, that was still wet and gooey, so I think that might have been replaced at some point. So I thought I'd just say that before I go putting this on and then clearing off downstairs. Yeah, thermal paste. Yeah, good luck with that one. Yeah, so what we'll do, we'll stick this down first, put a little blob of thermal paste on, put this on the board, screw it down, hold it in, and then we can solder it, the legs in. That's enough. Just a small bead, you don't need a lot. Once it squishes down, it spreads out. But you have too much of it, it just gets everywhere. You only need a small little bead of it. That's enough. Just getting it straight, holding the nut underneath. Just tighten it down now. Like that. Then we can flip it back over. We can solder that to the board. I've been at this all evening. I forgot to put the fan on. Normally I don't have the fan on if I'm just doing a quick solder of a capacitor or something. But when you're doing a lot of soldering, you really want a fan, especially on the old boards, because the old boards it's lead. So here we go. Yeah. So far, let's zoom out so you can see the whole board. You notice I'm saving something to the last because I've got to desolder them off that bloody board. Yeah, I've got everything else in. Fuses, the lot. Even the cartridge port. What I originally wanted to do was spray these gold. This one and the cartridge port cover. I was going to spray that gold as well. I still might do, I don't know yet. But I'm not too sure about that because that does get hot and I don't know how the spray paint's going to react. That doesn't get hot at all. Nothing happens to that. Yeah. It's got all the power and everything switched on. Well, switched on, connected. And then the video. And then the video port, the serial port. So all the capacitor, resistor packs are in. 1, 2, 3, 1 over 8, 4. We're getting there. It's just all these ferrite beads I need to do. I should have just bloody bought some like I said I was going to do. So you see I've left the bead out there, which carries the 12 volt. So now I need to pin 13 and wire it up to pin 40, which is up here, which is a VCC. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug it in, power it in, without the ICs, chips in and stuff. You can power it up, check the voltage on there, and hopefully nothing goes bang. Alright, so pin, oh god, where am I? Oh, up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Pin 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I need to go to pin 13, pin 40. That. Tack that. Pin 13. Up to oh, bugger. I've had to order another roll of solder. I've used a lot on this job. Right, count again just to be sure. Where's my pointer? Where's my pointy thing? Where the bloody hell's that gone? Yeah, that's there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And that is pin 40. Right, turn the soldering iron off. You ready? I'm just moving back. Well, nothing went pop. Where's my multimeter? Let's see if I can put that in your view as well so you can see it. Right, so pin 13 should say 5 volts. Oh yes. Pin 40 should be 12. And at 5 volts. 12. Idiot. Yeah. Now, the next trick is taking off all the chips and sticking them on here. I've already got the main batch. Oh, hang on, turn that off. Disconnect that. So we've got the main batch here, so we can get these in. There's one. Right. Yeah, I've had to put the RF module on it. This version of the board don't work without that, which is bugger. So let's put a spanner in the works. But it's all fully populated. Now it's fully populated. I'm going to plug it in and test it. Yeah. When I plugged it in before to test it, I used a video output because I didn't have the RF on there. Nothing. No picture, nothing. So been on the internet to find out why it needs that RF. Apparently this board does. It amplifies the signal. So either get rid of that and put an amplifier in there, or just leave it. Yeah. So I've put it on there because I ain't got an amplifier. Right, so now the RF's on there. It should work. No. Right, that. Right. Ready? This This bit makes me nervous. That's similar to the ZX Spectrum where I built the Harlequin 2 years ago. Always makes me nervous turning the bloody things on for the first time. Oh, oh, ooh, oh, yeah. We've got a picture and a strange humming noise. It might be the volume's too high. Right, might connect the keyboard. So the cursor, everything's flashing, so these three are doing their jobs. So I'm going to connect the keyboard. I painted that gold. The problem was the paint would turn up, like I said, was acrylic. Just look there. So I'm going to have another think about that. I might just get some gold leaf. It'd be really posh. Let's get this in there. Make sure there's not metal I can short out. Oh yeah, I've got the LED. I'm like, oh, it didn't come on. Hey, works. Just don't like that colour. That's better white. Yeah. There's a bit of blurriness going on there. So because I can't put the board I was going to put on there because it needs the RF in there, I'm going to have to mod the RF. Yeah, because there's a bit of signal. But that's all that bit done now. So we're up and running. Yeah. So now I can start modding it and altering it a bit. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to end the video there again because this is a long video. So this is part 2. So next time will be part 3. I think it'll be the last time, part 3. So I'm going to start that video in a minute to do part 3. Got a little package for it, so I'm looking forward to playing with that. Yeah, before any keyboard warriors start typing away in the mother's back bedroom with the sock on there, just remember, it's my board, I built it. That other board that I took apart was a parts board. It was a purpose parts board because it's seen better days. There's a lot of dodgy wiring going on it. That's why it was a parts board. It's pretty on its last legs, basically. So that's why I got that. That's why it was only 30 quid. Otherwise, if you'd put a board which was fully populated like that was, you'd be paying 50 quid for it, or more, especially now. So yeah, that's why it was a parts board, because I knew it wasn't in good shape, but it still worked. Just. Yeah. So in the next video, we're going to add that little gummins. I'm going to get all this built and put together and cleaned up and sorted out, and then it'll be done. The Golden 64. Yeah. So stay tuned. Don't forget to come back again next week. Thanks for popping in. See you in the next one. See ya. Yeah.